I'm in a family of entrepreneurs, so my parents are small business owners, and then my older siblings are also small business owners. So I grew up always helping them with all aspects of running a business. I was the person who was like, hey, maybe we should have a website, maybe we should have social media pages and an email list. So that was really important for them because they started their business way before a lot of the marketing channels we have today existed. So it was them learning about digital marketing and me kind of being Gen Z and growing up in that digital space. I actually started a YouTube channel back in 2011, and that was kind of my start of falling in love with content and, digital content creation. I was making a lot of lifestyle content. That was the age of the beauty guru and, a lot of women doing makeup tutorials. For some reason, I thought I could do makeup well. I could not. But I think that's, the beauty of YouTube. It's all about experimenting and finding your voice. And, that those humble beginnings led to me eventually getting a career in digital marketing. After you graduate the program, looking for a job is going to be super important. And there's a ton of entry level digital marketing roles out there. Think about the skills that you got from the course as well as any other previous job experiences you have and marry those with things that you see employers are looking for. If you're starting to get overwhelmed in the course, I want you to know that you can do it. It's a lot of work to get through this course, but nothing gets done without hard work. I think you'll really see a payoff at the end, and you'll thank yourself when you finally have your career in digital marketing. One of the things I like most about working in this industry is that there are so many different career paths you can take depending on your interests and experience. As you progress through this and the other courses in the program, you'll learn about lots of different skill sets that are in high demand. But even if you're totally new to the industry, chances are that you already have some skills and experiences that will help you succeed. In this video, we'll explore a few skills and qualities that can set you up for success in digital marketing and e-commerce. Curiosity, an analytical mindset, and storytelling. You don't have to be an expert in every single one. Remember, there are many different types of jobs in this industry, but I'm willing to bet that you have at least some experience with all of them. First, curiosity. People who are curious ask questions, seek out answers, and try new things. Some people are naturally curious, but it's also a skill you can build, and that can be important for working in this industry. That's because a big part of digital marketing and e-commerce is being curious about people, what they want, how they think, and what motivates them to take action. Curiosity is also important because the industry can change so quickly. So, exploring and keeping up with emerging trends will help you succeed as it continues to grow and evolve. Taking this course is a great example of curiosity. The fact that you're here means you're curious about working in digital marketing and e-commerce, and that you're actively seeking out answers. Being curious and asking questions isn't the only useful skill. Using an analytical mindset to solve problems can be a big help too. Digital marketers and e-commerce specialists use analytical thinking all the time. That doesn't mean we're all data scientists. I know I'm not. But we do collect and organize information to spot patterns, uncover trends, and solve problems. Having an analytical mindset isn't about technical skills. It's a way of thinking. If you ever made a big decision, like planning a trip or buying a car, you've probably practiced analytical thinking. If you compared things like cost, size, features, and safety ratings and picked a car based on which of those things were most important to you, that's analytical thinking. Most of us analyze situations without even realizing it. If you like solving puzzles and brain teasers, you're analyzing them to find solutions. Being a sports fan is another great example. Tracking statistics to know how your favorite teams are doing and predict how they might do in the future is similar to how digital marketers gain insights from data. Once you've analyzed data for insights, you need to be able to communicate them effectively to an audience. One of the ways we do that is through data storytelling. We use stories to turn dry numbers and statistics into engaging presentations and reports. Digital marketing and e-commerce specialists use data storytelling to share insights with clients and coworkers all the time. But it also helps businesses communicate value to customers in a way that's accessible, engaging, and most importantly, memorable. Stories allow them to connect with customers and set themselves apart from the competition. Everybody tells stories. Whether you've kept a blog or you're just really good at telling jokes, we all tell stories in our daily lives. And not all storytelling is verbal. Digital marketing and e-commerce use visual storytelling too. So if you have experience with drawing, design, or photography, you have the skills to create visual narratives for digital marketing campaigns. You'll learn more about some of the ways digital marketing and e-commerce specialists use storytelling later in this course. These are just a few examples of skills that can help you progress your career. There are many others, like adaptability or leadership. One skill I had before becoming a marketer that has really helped me is creativity. Sometimes you need to figure out how to set yourself apart from competitors. It's up to marketers to highlight a brand's unique qualities and get customers' attention in creative ways. As you learn more about the different roles and responsibilities in digital marketing and e-commerce, I hope you'll think of other ways you can bring your skills and experiences to the table. By considering your strengths as you go through the program, you'll be better equipped to convey them to potential employers. The industry will change and grow as new technologies develop, and you may need to learn new software or technologies. But with transferable skills like curiosity, an analytical mindset, and storytelling, you'll be sure to grow along with it. Coming up, you'll find out about some more specialized skills you might need and that this program will help you develop.
Hi, I'm Prisha and I'm an account strategist. strategist. As an account strategist, I help businesses grow by educating them on Google Ads. Some of my favourite aspects of digital marketing is how collaborative it is, and I really enjoy working with loads of different people, and I love being able to make a difference and really putting out the best possible content there is for my clients' users or for anyone out there. When entering marketing, it's so okay to not have as much experience as you think you need. I came into marketing with zero experience, and my biggest advice is to be really open-minded and to kind of not to fear rejection, because you'll be applying for so many different things, and it's okay to not get the role at the start because you'll work towards it in the future. My YouTube channel was something I decided to do when I was 16, and I started it because I wanted to raise awareness of my chronic condition, to help make a difference to the community, and to show others that anyone with a chronic condition or a visible difference can achieve their dreams or their goals. I started to also talk about makeup, but also travel vlogs and educational vlogs, and then I leaned into more apprenticeship / career related content just to raise awareness of that too. I was able to learn what my followers or what my community love most about my channel and kind of keep that going so that I'm able to grow even further. From my YouTube channel and running my own social media, I learned so many different things that I could bring into my day-to-day role during my apprenticeship. For example, one being the importance of being consistent with your campaign. So when you're kind of running multiple different campaigns, having that consistent messaging is so important. And I did that through my YouTube channel, Instagram and TikTok, just to ensure that people understood my brand and my story on different places. When I was 18 years old, I decided to choose an apprenticeship over university, as at school I knew my passion was digital marketing and I was going to study economics, but I realised that with my passion lying in digital marketing, why not start my career early? And I knew I really enjoyed it from my work experience on my YouTube channel. When I was interviewing for these different roles, one the apprenticeship and my full-time role at Google, I really wanted to show the importance of passion and how excitement goes a long way. And if you're passionate about something, that will carry you forward through any role or through any interview. So something I tried doing the apprenticeship when I had no experience was that I am passionate about digital marketing, and I've done X, Y, Z to kind of really show that through my YouTube channel and through different things. So I think through anything, if you can show you're passionate and really excited about something, that will go a long way. When starting out in digital marketing or any career, it can be really nerve-wracking, and you can have imposter syndrome and you can really feel like you're not meant to be here. And that's something that I faced in the apprenticeship, but also transitioning to a full-time role. My advice would be in that is just talk to loads of people, and you'll see how many people actually feel like they are having imposter syndrome. And I think from talking about it over time, you'll kind of realize you do deserve to be here and you have earned a position. Finding a mentor can be really helpful. With your mentor, you can actually work on short-term goals, long-term goals, and they can help you with the different fears you may have. For example, I had a fear in public speaking, and my mentor and I were able to work on that and kind of set these short-term goals to be able to help me achieve it, so that now I'm able to present and do different initiatives based on that. I am super excited for you to complete this course and for you to be more passionate than you already are on digital marketing, just like myself. And I can't wait for you to complete this and for you to have all the relevant skills to become a digital marketer. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Melba, and I am a product marketing manager at Google. I help communicate the what, the why, and the when of the products that we are developing, both internally to cross-functional teams and externally to our defined target audiences. I would say my trajectory has been very unconventional. When I was 16, I actually had to drop out of high school to get a job and help out my mother financially. I grew up in a single parent household, and if I'm honest, when I was 16, I never really thought that going to college, let alone getting a job at a place like Google, would be possible for me. It's interesting the way that things ended up working out because after getting a job, I eventually found myself dealing with a very, very incredible, powerful Latina leader. And the very first time I saw a Latina leader, I was blown away because it's not something that I used to see often. And when I did, I realized if she could do it, so can I. I went home that exact same day and I started researching a career in marketing. And so I really had to start from the ground up. I started to go take classes to get my GED. And after I got my GED, I went and I got my undergraduate degree while maintaining a full-time job. As part of my education and continued learning, I took several online classes and I also did a lot of courses that were available for free online. And one of the biggest reasons that I did this is because I found that oftentimes I needed to sit with the materials and be able to do it at my own pace. For me, this was instrumental because since I did drop out of high school, when I was in college, I actually found that everybody else was at a more advanced pace than I was. I didn't have a lot of the foundational knowledge that they did. And so because of this, I often had to go back, take some online classes, take some additional courses, and really gain that foundational knowledge in order to be able to set myself up for success in the future. I knew I made the right decision of pursuing a career in marketing when I launched my very first campaign. My first campaign was actually targeting underserved populations. As a Latina, it's really important that in the work that I do, I am able to give back to my community and really make sure that their voice is being recognized. In addition to the work that I do at Google, I also founded a company called Mujeres on the Rise. And Mujeres on the Rise is a community that helps Latinas rise through resources, community, and coaching. Again, being from a marginalized community myself, I realized that there are so many barriers that are keeping us from pursuing what we want. And a lot of times those barriers are our own internal voices that are telling us that we're not capable of doing what we want to do. And so as part of the work that I do, I really started this community to share what I've learned along the way and help others do the same. I used to believe that where I was in life would forever dictate where I would be in the future. And having made so much progress from where I initially started, I know that's not necessarily true. You can change the direction of your life, but it all starts with one decision. You have to take that first step without necessarily thinking about the super long journey that might be ahead of you. Just take one step, one day at a time, and eventually you'll look back and realize how far you've come.
My name is Andrew, and I am a Partner Operations Program Manager for our ad support teams at Google. As a Partner Operations Program Manager, I work with our ad support teams who are providing direct support to our advertising customers. When I was graduating high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, or I guess what I wanted to be when I grew up, so to speak. So I was fortunate enough to attend the United States Naval Academy for 4 years, where I graduated with a college degree, but also with a background in leadership to enter the Navy as an officer and lead sailors. The team that I joined was the submarine community and left Annapolis to go to Charleston, South Carolina, where I entered our nuclear power training program. It's a pretty grueling 6 months of theoretical nuclear engineering and then 6 months of hands-on reactor training. It being a very difficult program, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for me. And nuclear engineering is something that still challenges me a bit to this day. I ended up getting out of the Navy a little bit earlier than I expected to. And so I had to reassess where I was and what I was doing. And really figure out what I wanted to do after the Navy much sooner than I had originally anticipated. When I left the Navy, I was fortunate enough to have a friend who was actually working at Google at the time and understood a bit more of my background, and helped me to really understand where I might be able to leverage my skills outside of the Navy and as I entered the civilian world. So I put together my first resume and started applying to jobs. But it really took me a couple of months to figure out how to apply for jobs well. I didn't have a ton of direction on where I wanted to go, or what industry I wanted to be in. And I spent probably 5 or 6 months applying to, jobs that interested me or jobs that looked like they could be a fit. It was a bit taxing. You apply for a job and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then you finally kind of get that rejection letter, and you just hope that one day somebody kind of takes a chance on you. So when I started connecting with a few more of my peers to understand what they were having success with, that's when the light bulb clicked for me that I needed to do a better job of telling companies why they should hire me and why I would be a good fit at their company. I think I learned that the most important thing for me was going to be not just telling people about my military experience, but telling people about how my military experience makes me a good fit for the role that they have open. Really trying to translate some of the skills that I did have, even if they weren't directly related experience, translating how those skills would make me a good hire or would make me a successful member of their teams. Once I started making a better effort to tell my own story and own my experiences, I started to see more success when I was actually interviewing. I think it's important to always be looking for new opportunities to learn. I didn't have a formal background in digital marketing, and yet I still was able to get into this industry and find success by being willing to learn, keeping an open mind when approaching new opportunities and asking a lot of questions. For anybody who's transitioning out of military service, my number one recommendation would be to talk with people who are in the civilian world already, whether that's other military folks who have transitioned previously or just friends, family, acquaintances who are already in the industry or in the area that you want to be in, whether that's asking for informational interviews to get to know more about a role or more about an industry, or asking for somebody to look over your resume to give you feedback about, what's confusing or what could be clearer or how do you better describe some of your experience. Don't be afraid to ask for help from people who are already in the role, who have that experience and can share some of that knowledge with you as somebody who's just joining the team.
Hi there, my name's Erica and I'm a people consultant here at Google, known elsewhere in the industry as an HR business partner. I help employees, leaders, and managers solve problems and focus on their career goals. I also provide guidance along the way, and I'll be doing the same thing for you in this program. My journey to working in HR wasn't a straight line. Early in my career, I held several roles in other industries, including restaurant server and cashier. I even handled auto insurance claims for a while. These jobs might seem really different, but they all taught me something about myself and what I wanted to do. When I realized I had a passion for helping others in the area of learning and development, my path became really clear. Now, I'm excited to share my knowledge with you as you embark on the next stage of your own career. I'll be popping in occasionally to introduce career resources and discuss job searching and interview tips to help you on your journey. In this video, we'll cover some things you should know about the job landscape and a few things you can start to do right now that will help you advance your career. Digital marketing and e-commerce are some of the fastest growing industries out there today. Right now, there are thousands of open roles around the world and millions of people are already working in similar positions. Many of those jobs didn't even exist 5 or 10 years ago, and even more will develop as new technologies emerge. If you search any job board, you'll find digital marketing and e-commerce roles at organizations of all sizes in just about every industry, not just retail and consumer goods. With opportunities in so many fields, people in these roles can make an impact in a lot of different areas, from education to healthcare and finance. It also means you can pursue jobs in industries you care about. Love fashion, technology, entertainment? All those industries need digital marketing and e-commerce specialists. At the same time, try to keep an open mind when searching for jobs. Your next role probably won't be your last, so even if you don't start out in your ideal industry, it can still help you build the career you want. In addition to targeting certain industries, you might also find you prefer some aspects of digital marketing or e-commerce more than others, and that's great. The strongest candidates have a broad knowledge of the fundamentals and a deep understanding of one or two specific areas. So as you move through the program, pay close attention to the topics and courses that engage you the most. Reflect on your strengths and think about what you want to do with them. You might not have the answer yet, but these questions will help you target roles that align with your career interests later. Even if you're not quite ready for a job search, there are things you can do during this program to improve your prospects later on. For example, it's never too early to explore job descriptions for open roles. As you consider your skills and the parts of the program you like best, search job boards for roles in those areas. Make note of terms and skills that come up frequently. For example, you might find that certain roles often mention data analysis and reporting. This information will help you learn industry terminology and find out where you might want to expand your skills. Once you have an idea of the roles you want to target, you can start to identify past samples of work that demonstrate relevant experience. Have you written an essay or a story? Designed a website? Managed a budget or organized information in a spreadsheet? You'll build a portfolio later in the program, so keep track of these items in case you want to include them. If you don't have any samples yet, that's okay too. You'll create some as you complete the activities in the upcoming courses. By the end of this program, you'll have concrete examples of work that can help you demonstrate your experience to potential employers. Another way you can put what you're learning into action is by starting to shape your public persona as a digital marketing or e-commerce specialist. In other words, by building your personal brand. You can demonstrate your knowledge and skills through your social media accounts or personal website, and might even end up with a few samples of work for your portfolio. Finally, be sure to keep up with this program bit by bit until you reach the end. By completing this series of courses, you're investing in yourself, your skills, and your future. You're doing it right now, so just keep going. Good luck, and I'll check in with you again near the end of this course.
So far, you've learned about some of the skills and responsibilities digital marketing and e-commerce specialists might have. And you've discovered a little about the job landscape. Now, let's go a little deeper and explore two of the main paths you can pursue in your career: in-house and agency positions. Some marketing roles are in-house, meaning you work for a single company to market and sell their products. For example, I'm an in-house product marketing manager at Google, so I work on creating compelling video and social content for the Think with Google brand. But if you'd like a little more variety working on different projects across multiple industries, an agency role might be a good fit. Agencies partner with companies that don't have in-house marketing teams to fill their digital marketing and advertising needs. There are pros and cons to both agency and in-house work, and which one is right for you depends on what you want out of your career. Of course, you don't have to commit to one forever, and this program will help you prepare for both paths. But there are some differences you should keep in mind as you consider your options. As an in-house employee, you get to know one company and its products extremely well. You also gain deep knowledge and expertise in a specific industry. So, if you work for a cosmetics company, your experience will translate most directly to a similar company. On the other hand, if you're the sort of person who likes working on a lot of different projects, working with one company on one type of product might not be for you. And if you do want to move to a different type of business, your specialized experience can make it harder to break into a new sector. Now, if you work for an agency, you're unlikely to get bored. Because agency work is project-based, you get to collaborate on a variety of initiatives in multiple industries. By working with different clients, you can develop a broad and flexible expertise that will serve you at a variety of companies. But that doesn't mean you can't specialize. Agencies tend to focus on a few different areas within marketing, like social media or brand building, so you can get to know certain skill sets very well. But there can be downsides too. The same variability that keeps agency work interesting can also make things unpredictable. Sometimes clients can surprise you with unexpected requests or ask you to do things in an unfamiliar way. The hours can be longer too, especially toward the end of a project. Of course, every workplace is different, and they won't all have the same advantages and disadvantages. Whichever path you choose, whether it's the deep knowledge and stability of an in-house role or the broad knowledge and flexibility of agency work, you'll gain valuable experience that can lead you to the next great opportunity.
I'm Zuri, and I'm a associate product marketing manager at Google. I got into digital marketing in an unconventional way. So, a part of my story is growing up and not necessarily knowing about digital marketing or marketing as a whole in general. And how I got into it specifically is through an amazing internship with Google, the Bold internship. Before I got into digital marketing, a few of the jobs that I had were not relevant to digital marketing at all. And my first job actually was at Chick-fil-A. In my hometown, I served as a waiter and took orders, served our customers, and made their food and their beverage. And that in itself had a lot of transferable skills to what I see now as a digital marketer, whether it's putting the customer or consumer first, or whether it's managing your time diligently and effectively. At its core, in my opinion, it teaches you how to interact with people. I am confident that if you look hard enough, you can find transferable skills and key characteristics that are transferable to an entry level digital marketing role. The specific team that I work on within Google Ads is the brand architecture team. We think strategically about what is important to call out in the copy and the text that is in Google Ads. We have to keep in mind the advertiser who will interact and who will see the copy and the text shown within the ads portfolio. As an entry level marketer, I work with a lot of teams to make sure the customer voice is heard. The majority of my day, I am being resourceful, looking through different documents, different presentations, and decks to gather the information that I need to do my job. And that's the first half of it. The second half is pulling that information that I have gathered and going to talk to specific Googlers to ensure that one, I understand what I read, but also two, in understanding what I read, that I'm appropriately applying it to the task at hand. And in addition to that, doing different trainings throughout the day and throughout my role that relate to and help me become a better Googler and help me execute my role more effectively. What I like most about working in digital marketing has to be creativity. I'm able to operate as a creative, as a strategic thinker, and also as a problem solver with the end goal in mind of helping and promoting our brand to customers who love and use our products and services. And that's a key characteristic to have as a digital marketer, to know and understand customer behavior, to understand persona, and to be able to play to that. If you work and interact with people, if you promote and spread awareness about a brand or a product, you have a place in digital marketing.
My name is Jeb Ricketts, and I'm an account manager on big box retail at Google. An account manager basically works with companies that have already invested in Google to spend more money with Google. So think of large retail companies, could be apparel, could be electronics, could be groceries or a supercenter. When I first started at Google, I was working with small to medium-sized businesses, both e-commerce and lead generation. But on the e-commerce side, we worked with anything and everything. It could be apparel, it could be knickknacks. One of my favorite clients sold custom-made cards. So we had everything from small ticketed items to items that might cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. A lot of companies continue to go online, even if they have a brick and mortar presence. I think for e-commerce, it really depends on if you're omni-channel or not. Do you have a storefront property, and how can you expand your storefront by also selling online? And then if you don't have a storefront property, how do you increase your brand awareness to get people to go to your website versus going to a competitor website or to a brick and mortar business? I love with e-commerce that we can see the impact of what we're actually selling and working on. So through data analysis, all the analytics piece, we can determine we ran a campaign for $10 million and it brought us $30 million in profit. And that's an awesome feeling that you oftentimes don't get with other media channels. Think about television. It's very hard to prove whether or not that brought in money for the company. So I love seeing that bottom line and top line success with what we're able to do through digital marketing. Usually we'll have weekly projects where we're working on a presentation deck for a new product that we think our client should use. Or we're doing data calculations on a campaign that was just run and we're trying to determine that final return on ad spends. The common tasks for entry-level e-commerce people depends on what client they're working with. In a small company, you might be on Excel or Google Sheets calculating, what your spend has been for the past few weeks, and then trying to calculate again that return on investment piece, and then thinking about what new strategies can we come up with to improve that. So maybe that's having meetings with internal stakeholders that say, hey, we should do X, Y, Z if we want to increase performance over time. For a larger company, it can be a little bit more difficult to know the day-to-day because a lot of times it's reactive. You get an email from the end client who says, we need you to look into this or we need you to look into that. So you often have to jump around on a lot of small tasks while tackling a larger project, such as we want to adopt a $100 million campaign over the course of a year, and that takes several weeks to months to pitch an idea like that. To be a successful account manager, you need both hard and soft skills. The hard skills would be the data analysis piece. Can you look at the data and determine what needs to be done to improve the project or what we can take from the project after it's been ran? Soft skills could be as simple as just being personable in a conversation where you're talking about the small stuff, small chatting, and then going into very deep, complex situations with that customer. It's really about building trust and earning that rapport early on. I let my clients know I'm open to them. If they have any issues or problems, they should email me, they should call me, and I'll be able to answer those questions. And then when it comes to my time for a huge pitch, they already know me, they trust me, they've seen me answer all these tough questions, and now I have this new product idea that they love just because we've been working together for the past several weeks or several months. So my number one piece of advice would be to simply be patient, but be hungry. There's so much to learn about digital marketing. There's so much to learn about an individual client. Take time to hear that client's needs, as well as take time to learn about the products that you're working on or that you're selling. There's so much to learn, and you have to be open to it, you have to be hungry for it, and you have to be patient enough to learn it because it does take time.
the next section of the course. Congrats on completing the first section of this course. I hope you're feeling confident and excited about the future. I know I am. How about a short review before you finish up and move on to the next part of the course? First, you learned about how to navigate this program and got some tips to help you get the most out of it.
Bonjour, we are about to listen to a fast-spoken French dialogue. Let's see how much you can understand. As always, there is a support guide available with this lesson. Click on the join button below to access it. Join my Insta, TikTok, etc., etc. I would like you to listen to the following dialogue. I will go through this dialogue with you afterwards. Listen carefully. There is no subtitles to start with, so concentrate as much as you can. Écoutez attentivement.
Bonjour, vous désirez?
Quel est votre plat du jour?
Alors aujourd'hui, c'est blanquette de veau à l'ancienne et frites.
Ah, alors ce n'est pas pour moi, je suis végétarienne. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez?
Dans ce cas-là, vous pourriez prendre le risotto aux champignons. Ça vous va?
Oui, parfait.
Et comme boisson?
Donnez-moi un verre de limonade, s'il vous plaît. Okay, we've listened to a dialogue and you don't know what it's about. You've listened to it only once. How much did you understand? Do you know what the conversation is about? Can you spot it in a context? That's right. I think it's happening in the restaurant. I would like you to listen to it again, this time with French subtitles. So concentrate. If we know that it is happening in the restaurant, how much do you understand in terms of words related to the restaurant? There is a lot of questions in this dialogue. How much of the food you can understand? Écoutez attentivement une deuxième fois, cette fois-ci avec les sous-titres en français. So now, let's listen to it with French subtitles.
Bonjour, vous désirez?
Quel est votre plat du jour?
Alors aujourd'hui, c'est blanquette de veau à l'ancienne et frites.
Ah, alors ce n'est pas pour moi, je suis végétarienne. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez?
Dans ce cas-là, vous pourriez prendre le
Je suis végétarienne. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez?
Dans ce cas-là, vous pourriez prendre le risotto aux champignons. Ça vous va?
Oui, parfait.
Et comme boisson, vous pourriez prendre le risotto aux champignons. Ça vous va?
Oui, parfait.
Et comme boisson?
Donnez-moi un verre de limonade, s'il vous plaît. Right, how was it the second time around? What I would like to do now is go from one sentence at a time and try to understand the French in it. Now, I know it's very fast, and this is the way French speakers, speak the lingo. Now, how much do you understand? Let's take it one sentence at a time. Here's sentence number one.
Bonjour, vous désirez?
Bonjour, vous désirez? So, quite simple. You can in context guess what it means. Hello, what would you like? And here it's like saying, would you desire? Because we're using désirer as the verb, okay? Think of another alternative word or verbs that we could use. Bonjour, vous désirez quelque chose? Ou qu'est-ce que vous aimeriez? What would you like? So again, we could use aimer as the verb. Bonjour, vous désirez? And the question that follows is, quel est votre plat du jour? Quel est votre plat du jour? What's your dish of the day? Now have a look at quel. Quel means what, okay? You've got different spelling of quel. This time it's Q-U-E-L. It means what, and it's spelled only with one L, not double L-E or with an S, because the word related to that interrogative is plat, which is masculine. Quel est votre plat du jour? What is your dish of the day? And a plat is the dish, and jour is day, quite simply. And so, this is what the answer is.
Alors aujourd'hui, c'est blanquette de veau à l'ancienne et frites.
Well, today it's old-fashioned veal stew and chips. Now, this is only in France can you hear the blanquette de veau. I don't think that in Great Britain people eat veal as much. Now, today Aujourd'hui, c'est blanquette de veau à l'ancienne. Ancienne meaning old-fashioned or the way we cooked it back in the time. And a blanquette de veau is a veal stew. Avec des frites. Frites is chips, and we know that, don't we? And it's very important for you to learn your everyday words of foods related, learn your vegetables, learn your fruits, learn common, food items. It's always really useful, especially if you go to a French restaurant. Alors aujourd'hui, c'est blanquette de veau à l'ancienne et frites. Let's have a look what comes next. Ah, alors ce n'est pas pour moi, je suis végétarienne. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez? Ok, this one is quite interesting. Alors, ce n'est pas pour moi, je suis végétarienne. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez? Now, I know that even if you don't speak French, you will spot the word végétarienne. Vegetarian, vegetarian. So, I'm proposing you veal as the meat, but I'm telling you, actually, it's not for me because I am vegetarian. So, je suis végétarienne, okay? If you were a boy, a man, you would say végétarien. If you wanted to use the masculine version of that adjective, you would say végétarien. And then a question follows. Qu'est-ce que vous me proposez? Now, propose, what do you propose to me? What do you suggest? Qu'est-ce que vous me suggérez? Could have been another way of saying it. And the answer is that.
Dans ce cas-là, vous pourriez prendre le risotto aux champignons. Ça vous va?
Dans ce cas-là, vous pourriez prendre le risotto aux champignons. Ça vous va? So, dans ce cas-là, in that case, vous pourriez, and here's the conditional of pouvoir to be able to, you could take or have the risotto. And what is a champignon? Again, it's all about knowing your everyday words, and it's all about practicing vocabulary in French. Champignon is mushrooms, of course. Ça vous va? Is this okay with you? So in this case, you could have the mushroom risotto. Is that okay? Ça vous va? Oui, ça me va. You could say, yes, I'm okay with that. Ça me va. So what is the answer?
Oui, parfait.
Oui, parfait. Quite simply, I don't need to translate that. And then what follows is...
Et comme boisson?
Et comme boisson? So, follows is...
Et comme...
Oui, parfait.
Oui, parfait. Quite simply, I don't need to translate that. And then what follows is...
Et comme boisson?
Et comme boisson? So, here, the waiter is asking, well, what about a drink? What would you like to drink with this, okay? Et comme boisson. So there is no verb here, but is it... And as a drink, question. End of the dialogue. Would like un verre de limonade. So give me. Okay?
Donnez-moi un verre de limonade, s'il vous plaît.
Donnez-moi un verre de limonade, s'il vous plaît. So donnez-moi is quite direct. So give me, okay? Or we could have said j'aimerais, I would like. Je voudrais, I would like. Un verre de limonade, s'il vous plaît, okay? Don't forget to be polite. Ask s'il vous plaît. So give me a glass of lemonade, please. Okay. Now, this is the end of the dialogue. I would like you to listen to it without subtitles, just as it is. Listen carefully.
Ah, vous...
Comme autre, il a bu son verre comme les autres. Bonjour. By the end of this video, I guarantee that you will be able to converse with me in... T'as raison. Comment tu t'y prends? J'utilise une...
for society, so don't mix them up. Je travaille pour une grosse société. I work for a big company. Worldwide one. Next one is bureau, office, which is also the same word for desk. So you got desk.
Bonjour. We're about to listen to décortiquer a sentence. Écoutez bien.
Allô, bonjour. Ma voiture est tombée en panne au milieu de la route.
Allô? We are about to listen to a fast-spoken French dialogue, the way you will hear French in real life. Let's see how much you can understand. As always, there is a support guide available with this lesson. Click on the join button below to access it or go to my website learnfrenchwithalexa.com. Join me on Insta, on TikTok, etc. What I'd like you to do now is listen to the following dialogue. I will go through this dialogue with you afterwards. I just want you to listen to it carefully. There is no subtitles. Écoutez attentivement. Listen carefully.
Moi, j'aimerais voir Camping, tu sais, la comédie avec l'acteur que t'aimes.
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche.
Oui, ça vient de sortir. Alors, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? T'es partante?
D'accord, allons-y. À quelle heure?
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Okay. Now, we've listened to this dialogue once. How much of it did you understand? You may have been familiar with some words such as glace ou cinéma ou l'heure. For example, you may have heard some time arrangement. What is the dialogue really about? I would like you to listen to it again, this time with the French subtitles. Can you do that? Écoutez attentivement.
Salut chérie, ça te dit un ciné ce soir?
Ouais, mais il y a quoi?
Bah, moi j'aimerais voir Camping. Tu sais, la comédie avec l'acteur que t'aimes.
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche.
Oui, ça vient de sortir. Alors, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? T'es partante?
D'accord, allons-y. À quelle heure?
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super. Okay. So we've listened to it twice now, and this time you had the French subtitles. Was it easier? Did you understand a bit more? What I'd like to do now is go through each sentence one at a time and listen to what is being said. Is there any idioms? Are there any slang words that you must know in order for the conversation to flow, for you to understand it better? Let's have a look.
Salut chérie, ça te dit un ciné ce soir?
Salut chérie, ça te dit un cinéma ce soir? Hi honey, do you fancy a movie tonight? Okay, so un cinéma is like voir un film, to see a film, but we say, do you fancy a cinema tonight? Okay, but that's another way of saying, do you fancy watching a film?
Ouais, mais il y a quoi?
Ouais. Mais il y a quoi? Yes, but what's on? Ouais, instead of oui. Mais il y a quoi? But what's on?
Bah, moi j'aimerais voir. Camping, tu sais, la comédie avec l'acteur que t'aimes.
Ben moi, j'aimerais voir Camping. Tu sais, la comédie avec l'acteur que tu aimes. Well, I would like to see Camping. You know, the comedy. HD with the actor you like. Now, this sentence by itself is not difficult. When said fast, might get a bit difficult. So try to understand every word. And once you listen to it again, and which we are going to do in a minute, you...
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche.
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche. Ah, I did not know it was on. Now, you don't see the word on here because instead we have affiche. And an affiche is a poster, as in a cinema poster. I did not know that it was on the cinema, as in the poster was on a cinema. If you go to a cinema, you will see that, well, film sous c'est à l'affiche, the poster makes sense.
Oui, ça vient de sortir.
T'es partante? Yes, it just came out. Ça vient de sortir. Alors, so, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? What do you think about it? Are you in? T'es partante? Are you going for it? Partante comes from the verb partir. So, are you up for it? T'es partante? Again, all these little idioms and expressions you must be aware of because they come up really regularly in everyday French. So the answer to that is?
D'accord, allons-y. À quelle heure?
D'accord, allons-y. À quelle heure? Okay, let's go. At what time? À quelle heure? And this may be the most difficult part because there is number. You've got to retain this information and understand numbers quickly. So this is what is being said.
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
This one is by far the hardest sentence because there is a subjunctive, there are numbers as well. So, la séance est à 20h. Alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces. Can you see what's happening here? So not only are we counting in the 24-hour clock because we are in France, okay, we say 20h and not 8h, okay, it's 8 o'clock as in 8 p.m. But also we are using a really difficult subjunctive présent using puisse, and puisse being pouvoir, okay? So, la séance est à 20h, the performance is at, or the show is at 8 p.m. Alors on dit, so let's say 7:30 p.m. Okay, in front of the cinema, devant le cinéma, acheter des important titles happen. How
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on...
to my website. Subscribe, leave a comment. That's it for me. Au revoir. À bientôt. Bisous, bisous. Now, what I'd like you to do is listen to it again, without subtitles this time. You can always go back to this video and see the subtitles. The second listening was with the subtitles. This time, we know what the dialogue is about. We know what's going to happen. How much of it can you understand?
Salut chérie, ça te dit un ciné ce soir?
Ouais, mais il y a quoi?
Bah moi j'aimerais voir Camping, tu sais la comédie avec l'acteur que t'aimes.
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche.
Oui, ça vient de sortir. Alors, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? T'es partante?
D'accord, allons-y. À quelle heure?
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Okay. We've listened.
Alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on...
Allons-y. À quelle heure?
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Okay. We've listened.
Tu sais, la comédie avec l'acteur que t'aimes.
Ah, je ne savais pas que c'était à l'affiche.
Oui, ça vient de sortir. Alors, qu'est-ce que t'en penses? T'es partante?
D'accord. Allons-y. À quelle heure?
La séance est à 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Alors on dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces. 20h, alors on dit 19h30 devant... On dit 19h30 devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Dialogues 3 times. We have read sentences and did the sentence. And to this.
Super.
Okay.
Glaces.
Super.
Acheter des glaces. Devant le cinéma pour qu'on puisse acheter des glaces.
Super.
Okay. We've listened to these dialogues 3 times. We have read each sentences and translated the explanation of the dialogue in the guide.